This tragic case arose from the murder of Deborah Leach, aged 15, on a beach in South Australia in July 1971. Fritz van Beelen was convicted of murder, ultimately spending 17 years in prison. In this case, before the South Australian Court of Criminal Appeal, Van Beelen petitioned to have his conviction overturned after new evidence had been brought forward which was said to exonerate him. At the trial, there was substantial physical evidence, given the limitations of technology in the early 1970s, linking Van Beelen with Miss Leach. These included, for instance, shared clothing fibres and hair with distinctively cut ends found on the victim and on Van Beelen. After the conviction, a man named Sandercock came into the hands of police. He confessed to having raped and then drowned Deborah Leach. The defence argued that with that evidence now available, Van Beelen's conviction was unsafe. The difficulty for the defence, though, was that Sandercock was of doubtful mental competence at the time of his confession. He was an inpatient at a psychiatric facility, and in the very same interview as his confession, he also retracted the confession and claimed to have made it all up. His confession was also simply wrong about some stuff. For instance, he claimed to have raped and then murdered Deborah, while the forensic evidence was clear that she had been murdered first. The Court of Appeal had to consider whether the new evidence was relevant, and in doing so they gave what has become the classic statement of relevance in the common law of evidence. The court said, "What is relevant is to be received and weighed unless some special rule demands that it should be excluded notwithstanding relevance. What is not relevant is to be rejected. It is a fundamental rule that evidence of a fact will be characterised as irrelevant and held to be inadmissible unless that fact, taken alone or in conjunction with other facts, proved or to be proved, and having regard to the common course of events, tends to prove a fact or the facts in issue." The court found that the confession was so clearly fabricated and so clearly unsupported by the forensic evidence obtained at the scene that it could not tend to prove anything about the facts in issue. Van Beelen has always maintained his innocence, appealing unsuccessfully to the High Court as recently as 2017.